more in the back. I don't think you can see Nacho, but you can definitely hear him breathing. Just catching up in the car because it is the time that I get some breathing space with a toddler at the moment. So I thought, let's do it in the car. Appreciate I haven't been on here in a good 6 months. And there have been some valid reasons for that. First one being that I needed to take a bit of time out for me following the information that I got way back when in September. One thing that's really important with anybody going through this, which my consultant did make really clear to me, is taking that bit of time for yourself when you feel that your mental health is at risk. So I did take a lot in back then, and I just needed a bit of time for me. Following that, we ended up falling pregnant, unplanned, and I unfortunately had an early miscarriage. So again, that took a bit of time to work through, and then I ended up finding a lump in my boob, which got removed early this year, and thankfully I'm okay. But again, it just wasn't the right time to be filming and talking about all of these things when my mind was in other places. So I've taken a good half a year to go through some challenges and take a bit of time for me, but I've got some really exciting updates, which is why I'm tuning back in on here, because alongside all of this going on, there's been a lot that we've found out off the back of it, and some exciting people that I have met, and we are on a journey now which I didn't know would be possible when I was last tuning in here. So where do I begin? I'll start with the miscarriage. So we did get pregnant unplanned. Something that I really want to normalise, and I could get a bit of backlash for this, is that I didn't take falling pregnant unplanned well. Having been somebody who was struggling to get pregnant for just over a year initially with my daughter, I've had those times where I've been praying for a positive test, I've cried over negative tests, and to have an experience where I've seen a positive test and it wasn't that overwhelming happy feeling was very new to me. And obviously anybody who knows what I went through in my pregnancy will fully understand why I was freaking the hell out, because I just did not feel organised or planned in terms of, I hadn't met any consultants, I didn't know if it was 100% something that was safe for me to do, I didn't have any drugs that were going to be supplied to help with some of the diseases, and I just didn't feel ready. The timing was off, and there was some other personal things going on that it just wasn't right. Once I took a week to digest the information, me and my husband did start to come to terms with it, and we're like, right, look, we've not been on contraception for 20 months and it has taken us that long to fall pregnant, so we're in it, let's just do it, let's alert the consultants and see what happens. But the reason that I knew I was pregnant was because my itching had unfortunately started, and also my hyperemesis sickness had already started. So even to the point where my husband looked at me and went, I think you're pregnant. I think I was in a bit of denial because I do still have a cyclical itch, sorry. So I just thought, right, I'm gonna go get a test. If my husband's saying it, something's clearly not right, and yeah, you just know, don't you? So I took the test and there was a line. So yeah, it was just, as I say, it was a very new experience for me because I was frightened. I didn't know what I was going into, and my diseases had started. So they'd began at 4.5 weeks, which is much earlier than last time. This is everything that I was told, pretty much 99.8% chance that it would. So it kind of just set that disappointment. You always have that glimmer of hope that maybe, just maybe, it won't happen. But unfortunately it did. So the good side of it is we know what to expect now, and we have taken a lot of learnings from it. So as I say, unfortunately we ended up having a miscarriage and losing the baby. But what it did really set in the stone with me and my husband was that we did want another baby. So I felt like we got a lot from that, and it also taught me all the things that I wasn't ready for and what was going to happen to my body, and also what I needed to get in place to be able to have another baby. So funnily enough, the week after I lost the baby, I had my consultant appointment with the doctor that I met down in London to go through all of my genetic testing results. So I thought, well, no perfect time to obviously update her on what's happened and get a plan in place for if we are to have another baby. So I ended up having that phone call at the start of December for my updates from my test, and one of the biggest updates was about the genetic testing that I'd had. So there are some genes that have been researched to causing ICP. Unfortunately, I did not have any of those, fortunately or unfortunately. So it kind of left me in that same position that I was in. I can't deal with gizmo on the back, sorry. It left me in the same position that I was pretty much in, which is being a bit of a medical mystery and not knowing what is causing my ICP. We do, well, all of the consultants feel that it is linked to hormones based on the fact that it started so early with the second pregnancy, and that I have a cyclical itch. So what I mean by that is every time I ovulate or every time that I am on my period, my itching slightly returns. It's nowhere near the level of when I am pregnant, but it does make an appearance. So off the back of that, my consultant knew, right, these diseases are going to happen. You're wanting to try for a baby, so let's get our ducks in order and let's start getting you meeting people local to you and getting you in a place where you do feel comfortable and I feel like I have got all of my ducks in a row. So it started with me meeting the lead consultant in another local hospital to me. So one of the biggest things is that I will be dealing with another hospital this time round, and yeah, it's been something I needed to get my head around, but I found out some information of where I did have some concerns that has really made me relax. So I think this is why I'm sharing this, because there's a lot of what you'll make a problem in your head and it can very easily be solved. So my main concern was the fact that the hospital that I'm being moved to for my pregnancy doesn't have private delivery rooms. You would be put on a ward essentially when you have a baby. Now I know that sounds, sorry, moving a bit. I know that sounds silly, it might sound silly to some people, but to me, as somebody who would be suffering at that point with severe itching, unable to put clothes on, feeling very uncomfortable in my skin, it just I loved having a private room to be free to do what I wanted, but also I was severely ill when I had my daughter, and I needed my husband there 24/7 around the clock to help me with my little girl. So that was a concern to me, but what I was delighted to find out was that I could be treated within my pregnancy by the other hospital. So I had all of the specialists around me, but I could deliver in the hospital that I delivered in the last time. And what the consultant made clear to me was that the delivery experience would be no different. So again, as I say, a problem that I had made in my head was not a problem to them. Something very easy to fix, solve, and put a bit of peace in my mind. So I have met my lead consultant from the new hospital, absolutely amazing, understands the diseases that I had, already was giving me more information on the phone than I had been given within my pregnancy at the last hospital. So it raised a lot of confidence in terms of, right, I've got a good team here. He also cared about what was niggling at me, like things like where I would birth. He heard my concerns around the fact that my diseases had started early and I didn't feel prepared for it, because as people may know, you can't get in an appointment with your local midwife until week 8. So what I would have 4 weeks of suffering without any kind of medication. So he has supplied me the prescriptions that I would need, so I've got them to hand from my local GP when I need them, and I can get them as I start trying for a baby, and they are to hand. So again, that has given me a lot of peace with that. The other thing that I had when I fell pregnant was I was like, I don't have the numbers for people. Who do I contact? Who do I get in touch with? So I've got all of that in place. I've got it noted down. I know who to ring as soon as that happens. So again, another worry, another concern gone off the list. And then the final piece of the puzzle, which I came out of here absolutely beaming, was I met, and I have on the team, a liver consultant. She specialises in helping treat people with chronic itching from liver disease. She understands the mental torture that I went through. I really felt heard, I felt validated, and for the first time ever, someone sat in front of me and said, I'm very confident that I'll be able to help you control your itch. Now what's really important here is she did say, I might not be able to get rid of it completely, but I'll have you in a better state than what you were in the last time. Same thing is what the consultant said from the hospital as well, who'll be leading on my pregnancy. He was like, you'll be put on a drip, you'll never be left to be undernourished, you will have round the clock care essentially, and the next pregnancy should be a lot better because I won't be left and neglected to be left in the state that I was in the last time, and I will be given drugs to help me control the pain and the diseases that I'm suffering from. So honestly, the movement, although I've had all this other crap going on, the movement that I've had on this side, there's been bad things happen, but I'm a big believer in everything happens for a reason, and I think all of these things were meant to happen so that I have a good experience when we are ready to go through this. I've met amazing people, I've got a team on board, and I really feel heard and I feel part of the team. So I really want to push out here that anybody going through this, even if it's your first pregnancy or you're going into another one or you feel like you can't, push to meet specialists around you, because what is so disappointing to me is the fact that these people that I have just met were around the corner. They were in another local hospital, they knew all the information, they had drugs that could help me, and no one pushed me to them. They left me to suffer, and it is just absolutely heartbreaking that people are left to go through that. And like, what are you meant to do? What are you meant to do? So, sorry, I'm just having a bit of a traffic situation. Somebody's blocking the entrance that I need to go into. Thank you. Sorry, so yeah, the big message there is when you are going through something, you shouldn't be alone. There'll always be somebody that can help you, and don't suffer. Sorry, little interruption with the dogs barking in the back there. That's naughty Nacho, who's the one that you can't see. So yeah, I pulled up at work, so I'll cut this here, but I just wanted to give everybody an update. I think I really want to share. It's going to be hard to open up, but I really want to share what I go through the second time round to build confidence in people that are in a place where they feel like they can't have another baby, that hopefully another baby in a second pregnancy can be much better. So I'm doing it for all of the women out there who are in this position, give you something to follow and give you hopefully a bit of hope. So wish me luck, and I'll catch up with you soon. Thank you.